Chapter 1: The Crybaby Princess. Once upon a time in the ancient kingdom of Faraway Kingdom, there lived a young princess named Pyeonggang. She was the beloved daughter of the wise King Pyeonggang and his gentle queen. Pyeonggang was a beautiful child with eyes that sparkled like the stars and a smile that could light up the night sky. However, her tearful reputation had earned her the nickname of the Crybaby Princess. In the royal palace, the sound of Pyeonggang's sobs was a daily occurrence. Whether it was a scraped knee or a lost toy, her tears would flow like a river, causing the palace staff to scramble and try to comfort her. The king, a patient man, would often shake his head and chuckle at his daughter's dramatic displays. One day, as the king passed by Pyeonggang's room, he heard her crying again. With a sigh, he walked in and sat by her side.
"My dear Pyeonggang,"
he said gently,
"you must learn to control your tears. There's a saying in our kingdom, the one who cries today will marry foolish Ondal tomorrow."
Pyeonggang sniffled and wiped her tears, looking at her father with curious eyes.
"Who is foolish Ondal, father?"
King Pyeonggang smiled and began to tell her the tale of Ondal, a young man in their kingdom known for his foolishness and clumsiness. He explained that Ondal was well-meaning but often found himself in trouble due to his lack of wit. As the days passed, Pyeonggang heard her father's words echoing in her mind. She didn't want to marry someone considered foolish. So, she made a decision to change her fate. She practiced controlling her tears, took up reading, and learned about history, strategy, and the arts. When her father noticed the change in her, he was pleased. He began to teach her about the kingdom and its people, helping her understand the responsibilities that came with her royal birth. Pyeonggang became determined to make her life her own and prove her worth beyond her childhood reputation. Years passed, and Pyeonggang grew into a beautiful and intelligent young woman. Yet, her father's prophecy about marrying foolish Ondal lingered in the back of her mind. One day, after deep contemplation, she approached her father with a request.
"Father,"
she said, her voice firm and steady,
"I have thought long and hard about your prophecy. I have grown and learned so much, but I cannot escape the destiny you spoke of. If it is my fate to marry foolish Ondal, then I accept it. But I will not let it define my life or my happiness."
King Pyeonggang looked into his daughter's eyes, seeing the determination and strength that had blossomed within her. He nodded solemnly, knowing that his clever and courageous daughter would find a way to make the best of her fate. And so, the preparations began for the union between Princess Pyeonggang and foolish Ondal. Little did they know, this marriage would mark the beginning of an extraordinary journey, full of love, adventure, and the unbreakable human spirit. Chapter 2: An Unexpected Union. In the bustling market of Faraway Kingdom, news of Princess Pyeonggang's upcoming marriage to foolish Ondal spread like wildfire. The people whispered and gossiped, wondering how such a match could come to be. Ondal, unaware of his impending fate, continued to bumble through his days, causing mischief and laughter wherever he went. As the day of the wedding approached, the palace was adorned with colorful silk banners and fragrant flowers. The air was filled with anticipation and curiosity, with many wondering how the union of a wise princess and a foolish young man would unfold. When the moment arrived, Princess Pyeonggang, dressed in a breathtaking hanbok of vibrant reds and blues, stood before her people with her head held high. Beside her, Ondal fidgeted nervously, his face flushed with both embarrassment and awe. As the ceremony began, the royal court watched with bated breath, unsure of what to expect. Yet, As they exchanged vows, something unexpected happened. As Ondal shyly looked into Pyeonggang's eyes, he saw a warmth and understanding that he had never known. And in Ondal's gaze, Pyeonggang recognized a gentle kindness that touched her heart. As the days turned into weeks, Pyeonggang and Ondal grew closer. They walked together through the palace gardens, sharing stories of their childhoods and dreams for the future. Pyeonggang found herself smiling and laughing more than she ever had, delighting in Ondal's good-natured humor and childlike wonder. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, Pyeonggang looked at Ondal and said,
"You know, there is more to you than meets the eye. I see a brave and loyal heart, and I believe that you have the potential to be so much more than just foolish Ondal."
Ondal blushed and stammered.
Why you truly believe that, Your Highness?
Pyeonggang nodded, her eyes shining with conviction.
"Yes, I do. And I want to help you discover your true potential."
Ondal was touched by Pyeonggang's faith in him, and he vowed to do everything in his power to prove himself worthy of her love and support. And so, hand in hand, they began a journey of growth and transformation, each determined to make their unconventional union a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. Chapter 3: The Making of a Soldier. With Pyeonggang's encouragement, Ondal began his journey of self-discovery. He learned the art of reading and writing, guided by Pyeonggang's gentle hand. He studied history, strategy, and the art of war, his eyes opening to a world of possibilities that he had never imagined. One day, as they sat in the palace library, Pyeonggang turned to Ondal and said,
"I believe that you have the heart of a warrior, and with the right training you could become a great soldier for our kingdom."
Ondal looked at her, uncertainty clouding his eyes.
Do you truly think that I can become a soldier, Your Highness? I have always been clumsy and foolish.
Pyeonggang smiled and squeezed his hand.
"I have faith in you, Ondal. I see a brave and loyal heart within you, and I believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to."
And so, Ondal began his training as a soldier. Under the watchful eye of the kingdom's finest military instructors, he practiced archery, swordsmanship, and horsemanship. He trained tirelessly, his determination fueled by Pyeonggang's unwavering support and belief in him. As the months went by, Ondal's progress astounded everyone. He went from a clumsy young man who could barely hold a bow to a skilled archer whose arrows found their mark every time. His swordsmanship became swift and precise, and his horsemanship was unmatched. One day, as Ondal practiced his archery in the palace courtyard, King Pyeongwon came to watch. He marveled at his son-in-law's newfound abilities and turned to Pyeonggang with a proud smile.
My daughter, you have done something incredible. You have transformed foolish Ondal into a skilled warrior. I am truly impressed.
Pyeonggang beamed with pride as she looked at Ondal, who stood tall and strong.
It was Ondal's determination and hard work that led to his transformation, father. I only gave him the opportunity and encouragement to discover his true potential.
As Ondal's training continued, word spread throughout the kingdom of his incredible transformation. The people began to see him in a new light, and whispers of "foolish Ondal" were replaced with admiration for the dedicated soldier he had become. With each passing day, Ondal grew more confident and skilled, his love for Pyeonggang and his desire to protect their kingdom fueling his unwavering determination. And as Ondal continued to break free from the chains of his past, he and Pyeonggang found themselves growing closer than ever, their love deepening and their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Chapter 4: A Test of Courage. As the days turned into months, Ondal's transformation became the talk of the kingdom. People from near and far came to witness the once foolish young man turned skilled warrior. Among them were the kingdom's generals and military officers, who saw in Ondal a promising candidate for their ranks. One morning, as Ondal and Pyeonggang strolled through the palace gardens, General Hae, a respected and seasoned warrior, approached them. He looked at Ondal with a serious expression and said,
"Young man, I have heard of your remarkable progress and dedication to the art of war. I believe it is time for you to take the military exams and prove your worth to our king and kingdom."
Ondal hesitated, uncertainty clouding his eyes. He looked at Pyeonggang, who gave him an encouraging smile.
I will do my best, General Hae. I owe it to Princess Pyeonggang and to myself to see how far I have come.
And so, Ondal began to prepare for the military exams, a series of rigorous tests that would determine his eligibility for a position within the kingdom's military ranks. He studied strategy, honed his skills in archery and swordsmanship, and practiced his horsemanship until he could ride like the wind. When the day of the exams finally arrived, Ondal stood before the king, the queen, and the royal court, his heart pounding in his chest. As he looked out at the expectant faces of his friends, family, and fellow citizens, he took a deep breath and whispered to himself,
I can do this. For Pyeonggang, for my kingdom, and for myself.
The military exams were grueling, testing both Ondal's physical prowess and his strategic mind. He faced off against seasoned warriors in swordsmanship and archery, displaying a level of skill and determination that left his opponents in awe. He solved complex military scenarios, showcasing a tactical mind that belied his former reputation as a fool. As the final challenge came to an end, Ondal stood before King Pyeongwon, his chest heaving from exhaustion. The king looked at him with pride and admiration and announced to the gathered crowd,
Ondal, you have proven yourself beyond any doubt. You have shown courage, skill, and intelligence that few possess. I am honored to welcome you into the ranks of our kingdom's military as a general.
The crowd erupted in cheers, and Ondal felt tears of joy welling up in his eyes. He turned to Pyeonggang, who stood beaming with pride, and whispered,
Thank you, my love, for believing in me and showing me the strength that was hidden within.
As Ondal took his place among the kingdom's most respected warriors, he knew that his journey had only just begun. With Pyeonggang by his side, he was ready to face any challenge that lay ahead, determined to protect their kingdom and prove that even the most unlikely of heroes could rise above their past to achieve greatness. Chapter 5: A Call to Arms. As General Ondal embraced his new role, he quickly gained the respect and admiration of his fellow soldiers. His dedication and humility, combined with his newfound skill and intelligence, made him a beloved and trusted leader among the ranks. One day, as Ondal and his troops were training in the palace courtyard, a messenger arrived with urgent news. The neighboring kingdom of Baekje had invaded Goguryeu's borders, causing panic and chaos among the people. King Pyeongwon called for a council of his generals and advisors, seeking their guidance on how to best protect the kingdom and repel the invaders. As the council members discussed various strategies, Ondal stepped forward, his voice steady and strong.
Your Majesty, I believe that we must act swiftly and decisively to defend our kingdom. I propose that we gather our troops and march to meet the enemy at the border, where we can engage them in battle and drive them back to their own lands.
King Pyeongwon nodded, impressed with Ondal's confidence and determination.
Very well, General Ondal. I entrust you with the command of our forces. May your courage and wisdom guide us to victory.
As Ondal prepared to leave for the front lines, Pyeonggang stood by his side, her eyes filled with a mixture of pride and worry.
My love,
She whispered.
please promise me that you will return to me safely.
Ondal looked into her eyes and embraced her tightly.
I promise, Pyeonggang. I will fight with all my heart and strength, but I will always remember that my true battle is to return home to you.
With their goodbyes said, Ondal led his troops to the border, where they would face their greatest challenge yet. As they marched, word spread throughout the kingdom of their brave general and his army, and the people prayed for their safe return. As the battle commenced, Ondal fought with the ferocity of a lion and the grace of a tiger, his every move a testament to his love for Pyeonggang and his devotion to their kingdom. His soldiers followed his lead, their spirits lifted by his unwavering determination and strength. Together, they pushed back the invading forces, and the tide of the battle began to turn. As the enemy retreated, cheers of victory rang out among the Goguryeo troops, their hearts swelling with pride and relief. As Ondal looked out at the battlefield, he knew that he had proven himself not only as a soldier but as a leader. He had shown his people and himself that even the most unlikely of heroes could rise above their past and achieve greatness. And as he turned his thoughts to Pyeonggang waiting for him back at the palace, he knew that their love had been the guiding force that had led him to this moment. With each step he took toward home, he carried with him the knowledge that he had fought for something greater than himself, for love, for honor, and for the future of their kingdom. Chapter 6. The Price of Valor. With the invading forces of Baekje driven back, General Ondal and his troops returned to the kingdom as heroes. The people of Goguryeo lined the streets, showering them with flowers and praise, their hearts filled with gratitude and relief. As Ondal rode through the cheering crowds, his eyes searched for the one face that mattered most to him, Pyeonggang. As they finally locked eyes, a surge of love and happiness filled his heart. They embraced, their joy at being reunited shining brightly for all to see. In the days that followed, the kingdom celebrated their victory with feasts, music, and dancing. King Pyeongwon praised Ondal and his troops, rewarding them with honors and gifts for their bravery and service to the kingdom. However, peace did not last long. News soon arrived that the Baekje forces had regrouped and were preparing to launch another attack on Goguryeo. The kingdom was once again thrown into a state of uncertainty and fear. King Pyeongwon summoned his council and declared,
We must stand strong against our enemies and protect our people at all costs. General Ondal, I entrust you once again with the command of our forces. You have proven yourself a capable and valiant leader, and I have faith in your ability to defend our kingdom.
As Ondal prepared to leave for the front lines once more, Pyeonggang stood by his side, her heart heavy with worry.
Ondal, my love, please be careful. I cannot bear the thought of losing you.
She whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. Ondal embraced her, his voice filled with determination.
I will do everything in my power to return to you, Pyeonggang. Remember that our love is the source of my strength, and it will guide me through the battles to come.
With their goodbyes said, Ondal once again led his troops into battle, his heart filled with love for Pyeonggang and determination to protect their kingdom. As they fought valiantly against the Baekje forces, Ondal's courage and skill inspired his soldiers, driving them to push back the enemy once more. In the heat of the battle, as Ondal charged toward the enemy commander, an arrow flew through the air, finding its mark in Ondal's chest. He fell to the ground, his vision fading as his comrades rushed to his side. As word of Ondal's injury reached the kingdom, Pyeonggang's heart shattered. She rode as fast as her horse could carry her to the battlefield, praying that she would not be too late. The soldiers attempted to move General Ondal's body into the coffin to proceed with the funeral procession, but the coffin wouldn't budge. It was then that Pyeonggang noticed Ondal's body lying inside the coffin. She hugged him tightly and cried tears like rain, saying,
"Please, Ondal, rest now. You are my heart, my love, my everything. Let's meet again in heaven."
Only then did the coffin budge. It seemed as though Ondal's body was saying, "I love Pyeonggang." As Pyeonggang wept, the world around her seemed to fade, leaving only the love they had shared and the memory of the hero who had given everything for his kingdom and his love. Chapter 7. A Love Beyond Time. With the loss of Ondal, the people of Goguryeo mourned deeply, their hearts heavy with grief. His bravery and sacrifice were remembered and honored throughout the kingdom, and his name became synonymous with courage and love. In the days that followed, Pyeonggang found herself struggling with the weight of her heartache. She longed for the comfort and strength that Ondal had always provided, her world feeling empty without him by her side. As she wandered through the palace gardens, lost in her memories, she heard the soft rustling of leaves and the gentle whisper of a familiar voice.
"Pyeonggang, my love, do not weep for me, for I am always with you."
Startled, she looked around, but there was no one there. Yet, she felt a warmth envelop her, like a gentle embrace, and she knew in her heart that it was Ondal's spirit, comforting her even in death. King Pyeongwon, seeing his daughter's pain, offered her words of wisdom.
Pyeonggang, my dear, we must remember the love and courage that Ondal showed us, and let it inspire us to be strong. His spirit will live on in our hearts and in the stories we tell of his bravery.
Chapter 8. A Kingdom United. Years had passed since Ondal's sacrifice, and Goguryeo had grown stronger, its people united by the shared memory of the hero who had given his life for their protection. As Pyeonggang continued to serve her kingdom, she made it her mission to instill the values of love, courage, and unity in the hearts of her people. One day, as she walked through the bustling market, she heard the distant sound of laughter and music. Intrigued, she followed the noise, finding herself in front of a small group of children gathered around an elderly storyteller. With a twinkle in his eye, the storyteller recounted the tale of Princess Pyeonggang and Foolish Ondal, his words painting a vivid picture of their love and bravery. The children listened, their eyes wide with wonder and admiration as the story unfolded before them. As Pyeonggang watched, her heart swelled with pride and joy, knowing that the memory of Ondal would live on in the hearts of the younger generation. And as the storyteller finished the tale, the children cheered and clapped, their faces glowing with excitement and inspiration. Later that day, as Pyeonggang walked along the palace walls, she looked out over her kingdom and smiled. She knew that the love she and Ondal had shared would continue to inspire and unite her people, creating a legacy that would last for generations to come. As she stood there, a gentle breeze blew through the air, and she heard a soft whisper in her ear.
"My love, our story has become the heart of our kingdom, and together we have made it strong. I am so proud of you, Pyeonggang."
A tear rolled down her cheek as she felt Ondal's presence beside her. She whispered back,
"Thank you, my love, for showing me the true meaning of courage and for giving our kingdom a story that will live on forever."
In the years that followed, Faraway Kingdom flourished under the guidance of King Pyeongwon and Princess Pyeonggang. The people held their heads high, proud of their heritage and the heroes who had shaped their kingdom's history. And in every corner of the land, the tale of Princess Pyeonggang and Foolish Ondal continued to be told, a testament to the power of love and the strength of a kingdom united.